Okay, we just watched a Mystery Doug about April Fool's Day and pranks. So, for your writing today, I want to challenge you to think about a time when maybe either you have pranked someone or when someone has played a prank on you. So, to get us started, I went ahead and thought about a time that I pranked someone, and it wasn't too long ago. It was actually on April Fool's Day the other day. So before I start my writing, I'm going to do a little pre-writing. Pre-writing always gets our ideas organized. So our big idea and what we are writing about today is pranks. So I'm going to write the word prank in the middle and draw a bubble around it because that's my big idea. So my first sentence is going to tell people that I'm writing about a prank. All right, and then I'm going to think about what I want to tell people about that prank. So after I tell people that I played a prank on someone, I'm going to say, the boys woke up. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the boys waking up. And maybe I'll even put a 1 right there. So I know that that's the first thing I'm going to talk about in my writing. Then somewhere else on my bubble, I'm going to write a number 2 and circle it so that I know the second thing that I want to talk about is the actual prank that I did. So on the second thing, I'm going to talk about what it was that I did that was a prank for them. And then the last thing, because you only need to do 3. You can do more if you want. But then the last thing that I'm going to write about is I'm going to tell you how the boys reacted. So how the boys reacted after I played the prank on them, because I bet you will want to know that. So this is just my pre-writing. I don't need to worry about spelling things. I just want to organize my thoughts. So I'm going to tell people I'm writing about a prank. The first thing I'm going to tell them is that the boy, I wrote boy. I want it to be boys woke up. The second thing I'm going to tell them is what the prank actually was. And then the last thing I'm going to tell them is about how the boys reacted to the prank. So now that I have my pre-writing done, now I'm actually ready to write my paper. So I am writing in a notebook, but you can surely write in anything that is handy for you at home. And you can, if you have room on the paper, you can just keep on writing underneath your pre-writing. You can flip it over and write on the back if you have space, or if you have space next to it, you might even want to do that. That way you can look right at your pre-writing to do your actual writing. All right, so I'm ready to start my writing, and the first thing I need to do is I need to write a sentence with the word prank in it, because that's my big idea. So I want to tell people about it. And remember, at school, we usually start with writing the date. So it's 4-6-20. I'm going to write that up in the margin. You don't have to do that, but it's a good habit to get into. So my first sentence is going to say, I played an April Fool's prank on the boys. Okay. And if we stop and we look at that sentence, and I'll move this over so maybe you can see a little bit better. If we look at that sentence, you're going to notice that I started with a capital. I have nice spaces between my words. And then I even stopped my sentence with a stopper. So I can read it back. I played an April Fool's prank on the boys. And I stopped it. And so now if I look back over here at my pre-writing, I'm going to tell you my first sentence is going to say about the boys waking up. So I'm going to write the boys woke up and came downstairs how stairs. And I stopped that sentence. So this is my second idea. Oops, sorry, you can't see it very well. This is my second idea. So I need to make sure I start with a capital, and I need to make sure that I stop my second idea with a stopper. Let's reread it to make sure it makes sense. I played an April Fool's prank on the boys. The boys woke up and came downstairs. Now if we go back over to our pre-writing, I remember that the second sentence I want to write about is what the actual prank was. So I'm going to write, I told them that the news said we are going back to school next week. Okay, so there's my third idea. So whenever I start a new sentence with a new idea, I need to make sure I start with a capital, still going to have nice spaces, and going to stop my new idea with a stopper. All right, now if we look back over at our organizing paper, you will see that the third thing is how the boys, oh, I wrote boy again instead of boys, how the boys reacted. So going back over to our writing, and I'm going to write the boys were so sad because they like staying home with Isla. And I made sure that I started Isla's name with a capital I. All right, so I did my third sentence, so now let's read it, or not the third sentence, the fourth sentence, but the third idea. So let's read it all together. I played an April Fool's prank on the boys. The boys woke up and came downstairs. I told them that the news said we are going back to school next week. The boys were so sad because they like staying home with Isla. And even though I don't have anything else over in my pre-writing, I feel like my story needs an ending. So I'm going to finish it up by saying, then I said, and I'm going to use talking marks, April Fools, and I'm going to use an excited mark because I shouted it, and then I'm going to stop my talking with talking marks. All right, so there's my story. I played an April Fool's prank on the boys. The boys woke up and came downstairs. I told them that the news said we are going back to school next week. The boys were so sad because they like staying home with Isla. Then I said, April Fools. So there's my story. I'm challenging you to think about a time when you pranked someone or when someone pranked you and write about it. And you can write in whatever's handy for you, or you could even type it if you want to type it. And if you feel like it, you can even take a picture of it, or you can email it to me, whatever is handy for you. So good luck. I can't wait to read your pranks.